Welcome back to Creating Stuff with Jim. I'm Jim, and it's time to create stuff. In this episode, a friend of mine contacted me saying that he bought a propane tank and he wanted a mount in his camper so he could store it while he was traveling. So I thought, you know what, that'd be a good project to do. So I've already come up with a design. I've got approval from him to build it. So let's get into it. So we're going to start. We're going to go into the office, get on the computer. I'm going to show you what I got designed up, and we're going to go from there. Boom. Right, now that we've come inside into the office, now I want to show you the design that I came up with to mount the propane tank. Alright, here we go. This is the basic design that I came up with for the propane tank bracket. It's just a simple model. This is the way my buddy wanted it to mount. Is he wanted the back of it to be mounted to the wall of a camper. So that's why I put four mounting holes in it, and this is going to be one piece of metal. We're actually going to break or bend that right there. So and then also we have the hole where the base of the propane tank can sit down in, and then once it sits in, we put these little eyelets so you can put a strap across the top of the tank. So I feel like this should work pretty well, and but the truth of it is there's only one way to find out, and that's to actually build it. So but anyways, this is what the finished product is going to look like, and this is actually one feature when I learned how to use CAD, I really like this, because ever since I can remember, I could always picture something in my head, but it was very hard to describe it to somebody else. Where using CAD, it's excellent. It gives me a way to model something so I can. It just gives me an avenue where I can show you what I see in my head in reality. So I really like the modeling features of CAD. So it's a very, very powerful tool. And if you stick around, if you subscribe to my channel and come back and watch future episodes, I do plan to do some tutorials about how to use CAD and what you can do with it. It's really a powerful tool to have. Now, like I said, this is what the finished product looks like. Now I'm going to have to show you how we're going to cut it out and we're going to build this out of 1/8" aluminum. Now we have to show you how we're going to cut this out. Alright, now get this recentered. These are the three pieces that we're going to cut out on the plasma table. So once again, you can see things that look familiar, like there are my four mounting holes. On how I told you how that back piece and that bottom piece were actually one piece, is here they are in one piece. And you're going to notice how I have little half circles right there and right there. And what I use that for, and you're going to see later when I break this or bend it, basically those are the marks where you put the break at. So the nice thing is with that, there's no you don't have to measure, mark. The marks are already there. And although it is a little bit of a little hole when it's done, when you weld it up, that disappears. So I found that's a very good feature of doing this. And now I'll even go one step further, and I'm actually going to show you a simulation of what it looks like when the plasma cutter cuts it out. So now this is not the actual speed that the plasma cutter will cut it out, but like I said, this is a simulation of what it would look like. So and the logic behind it is it will do all the inside holes first, and then it will do the outside hole of the perimeter. And it does it that way because the inside holes, the piece is still stable. Once you cut the big piece out, it'll actually float a little bit. So that's the reason why you do them in those orders. Well, there you have it. That's what it's going to look like. Now we got to head back out in the shop, and we're going to do it for real. Now that we got all that computer work done in the office, Now we're getting ready to do the fun stuff. We're out in the shop. Let's get the metal set up on the plasma table and let's cut some metal. All right, now that we got all our pieces cut out, now we got some jagged edges on these, which is not really bad. This is mainly slag. We're gonna get a grinder with a flap disc, and we're gonna clean these up before we do any more work. Now that we got all the edges deburred and the edges are nice and smooth, before we put the bend in this, we're going to go ahead and finish this so it has a nice finish to it. And how we're going to do that is we're going to do a brush finish. We're just taking a random orbit sander with 80 grit sandpaper, and we're going to put a nice finish on all these parts before we go any further. And now that we got the finish all on the part, now we're going to go to the press brake. And if you remember back when I was showing you the 3D model and the drawings on CAD, these are the half circles that I pointed out. So the sharp edge of the press brake, I'm actually lining those half circles up with that press brake so that it saves having to pull out a tape measure and a marker. Now that we got the main bracket all bent up and everything's finished, now we're ready to get behind a welding shield and start stitching all this up together. So while we're sitting here talking about it, let's get to work. Now that we have it all welded together, now we got to clean up our work. Like I said, unfortunately I'm not as good as a welder as I'd like to be, mainly I'm out of practice. But anyways, we're back to the grinder with a flap disc on it, which just a note with working with aluminum, grinding wheels that use for steel generally don't work well on aluminum. So this is actually when I say a flap disc, this is actually a sanding disc, and that we're using that just to clean the welds up and make it look pretty. Now that we're done with grinding, we get to move on to the final step. We're back to the orbit sander and the 80 grit sandpaper. It is all the places on the welds that we cleaned them up. We got to make the finish match across the whole workpiece. So we're just about done. Well, there you have it, the final product. It doesn't look half bad if I do say so myself, and I gotta admit, I had a lot of fun building it today. If you'd like to try to build one of these, I will make the CAD files available for download. And other than that, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, tag, subscribe, and please follow my YouTube channel for future videos. So until next time, see ya.